controller, Samar Smack this here, and I'm back again with another video. Now, today I'm about to show you guys what do's and don'ts of what you do when you play cast characters. Now, like I said, cast characters are basically what people will try to turn, and what people known as cast characters, be picking every characters for the roster and making sure that the characters be DLC characters at first. There's so many examples of what do's and don'ts about this. And there are also some other things that I want to do and I want to tell you guys on which characters to play normally and what to say do's and don'ts. Let's start out with with the one of the most overpowerful and overused characters ever, Full Power Super Saiyan Broly, also known as which we call TBS since the real TBS Broly has finally came out in the DLC. Let me go ahead and tell you that it's basically Full Power or Broly. Now that's what I'm gonna call him now. But anyways, like I said, there's something special with the character because he's buff. You can see he has a scar and his eye, and he still has the white eyes, meaning that he's demonic like the scar, the pecs, everything you name it. He's big as fuck apparently. So this is how I usually play Broly now, because I have been training a lot how to play with this character. Usually I play it with a different playstyle, but this is actually I'm the only player that plays Broly around. So let me show you an example of how I play with a Broly. You see that? That's how I usually play Broly. And now here's the don't. When people fight these type of players where they play well with the characters, there's one major do, his grab. Now if I do this, that's how players would do. This I would do like a guard match right this one, and they'll just continue to grab their opponents like crazy. Like yeah. That's the one thing I would never do when I fight against players in Universe 2 with this. I had to become next tamer because, like I said, there was one time there was a player that got bad over here. That led to me stop using this character since Trade 3 before it's possible. So yeah, if you play Broly like this, do not play like this because you're gonna be like maybe trash if you play with it. And I recommend you play like this, so that's how real Broly players play like this. Yeah, with the keystones, the major combos, or infinite combos like this. Hold on, let me do. Yeah, that combo. What's okay? Now, cast characters are not the only one players. Now let's go on to the players I know as Fossimi players. Yeah, this is gonna be do's and don'ts right here. And basically, when I go to a player that, for myself, for example, I have been playing with Fossimi characters basically for ever since I created those characters. And no, I already know my playstyles using them has been improved over the years. But I will have to show you guys what I basically do with these. Sometimes I play like this because that's how I usually fight against players wherever they are basically around. Because I know they don't have stamina breaks, but there are sometimes they do. Why we just turn off the setting, turn off the recovery, put this on unlimited. And there are so many stamina breaks that people can do. Like this. But they have to be a standard connection about it. Or they could just do this. Hold on, let me just do one over here. Well, but there's a major problem with that. So when I do this, you gotta be perfectly timed when you do the stamina plays. But usually they have some infinites like this. I know that it sounds like cheap over there, but it's way better than the square triangle that Earth used. Because, like I said, they are the worst characters to use in Data. Because, that, in my opinion, they are the worst characters to use in game. So that's exactly why I'm pressing. Now, let's get on to the don'ts right here. Now, there's a don't because us in Xenoverse 1, the Frost Demons don't have a transformations that major golden form. Since that when the developers of Xenoverse 1 were trying to make it, they could have run out of ideas how they could reach are gonna look. So apparently they transform they that wasn't until Xenoverse 2 they announced this transformation as a new transformation for Frost Demons. When the so-called Xenoverse 3 comes out, that will probably be makes what made other people would see what their skills whether to turn golden, like the full power, or even that, or even Cooler's big transformation, form transformation will make your characters big, huge, or gigantic, and will give you this battle armor. So let's go over to turn golden. Now, what do players do when they transfer to the golden form? Well, they do this. They just press triangle, track circle, and just spam like without doing punches. I see a lot of players do that. That people who do all this, and people say they call this the worst race ever because they people I know for do the circle spam. As myself, this is how white people really do this just to troll their opponents on. Like it's so very. What's made me angry? What makes me angry the most that they really. Some of them use golden form and one of them don't use golden form because it's way more. Even though it has some major nerfs and buffs over these years, because I only played the game back in 2018, and I didn't even know how to experience on it until 2019, how I end up playing with the characters and end up fully using them in this video as right now. But yeah, that's a don't. What I do to use a combo is to end them with a combo, like this. Just like that. That's how I do this. Because sometimes you can do this to a combo. Or basically do this. Because yeah, that's to do in this game. If you want to play it like a Frost Demon player, use golden form like I'm doing. Because like I said, this is one of the coolest transformations that I haven't seen before. Now, there's another... Now, moving back to the cast character of this game. And let me go ahead and see what I'm talking about is, I think is, well, I'm trying to find out what's over here. Is basically because there's a lot of characters I can pick here, so I think it's like, the Cyberman. And to make a double scene, let's have a Cell Jr. Now, like I said, well, these characters are the worst characters in Xenoverse 2, in my opinion. I'm not saying that they're maybe not that bad of a characters because they have like combos and stuff. Because like I said, they both play exactly the same. They're just characters with high stats, but there's also one major thing about this. Well, none of them actually do this because apparently that players used to play like Cyberman, even though it's really, really a common thing that players play like that because they always just want to determine what players can play and why they do that. Now, there's nothing wrong with the Cell Juniors because they are really cool, but I really wish they have a custom character that you can access to basically like Purple Cells Kamehameha. Well, I know there's some mods out there. No, I'm not talking about modded saves, but rather than PC mods that somehow makes every single character have a custom mentor. Now, I see slow plays in this video, and this is exactly a prime example of why I'm going to show you guys right here, because I never used to Cell Junior in 1v1 matches. It's because apparently they were just like, kind of big, glorified because they are one of the people that pick the most. But imagine if you want to play a game and you end up fighting against a player, that makes yourself way cool, way kind of cool, because it doesn't make people you can get easily whacked if your character is level 1. But anyways, back to the Cyberman. Well, their combos are seemingly not bad, but there's only one thing. When I do this, they're very janky when we play these. And I see a lot of players because somehow their sample base is extremely hard to pull off without any of the combo. Sometimes you do this, and it doesn't do major much anything about it, but what makes my money mindful? That's a character I don't use use daily, because apparently they have way fatal flaw, they can get easily, 8 damage easily, and basically other things like that. But let's get to the parts that don't. Oh, right there. Now, like I said before, while the characters are basically are not basic one, because if you go on Confess here, there's an exclusive skill for the Cyberman right here, and it says self-destruct. Now, this is one of the iconic moves that was used when Young Chuck gets imperially wrecked. And this led to the iconic pose that we see before, that we all know and love today. Now, here's one major thing. If a player uses self-destruct as a final attack, yeah, you see right here that and how I die right there, and there you have it. See, you see the Cell Junior. It's doing the Yacha pose. He's got blown up. But let me go ahead and say that for another example. If you play 1v1 matches and use self-destruct, you're going to lose the match. But if your opponent has higher health, you're going to lose the match entirely because because it's a favorite decision. And also this will cause, for example, like a double countout or a double KO when they actually probably saying these reasons. But that's exactly the one major thing that I have pet peeves about when they try to use self-destruct, and it's easy to dodge completely unless you show them out. Well, how I usually do as a fishing mute is basically using their full energy volley blast. Now, obviously, this is the only skill that I recommend you doing this, because say the self-destruct unless you want to do it like a double countout, but there are some chances that you're going to win. There are some multiple chances that you might win the matches like that, and it's just simply right over here. Now, obviously, it's just simply just like that. Now, the next character do's and don'ts, and like I said before, there are like, before I do that, I need to change my my custom Goku's Super Soul right here. And then what I'm going to do is there's going to be my Goku and Awoken Hit. Now, apparently, like I said before, if I go to the partners customizations and press over here, he has a Super Soul that I basically never has gotten, or basically the one here. Some say it might be thinking Dragon Balls, but I don't think that's not even a bad skill, because some here reasons I recommend using this one as a parallel quest skill, because you need that if in case you get low chance of health or something that's hard. You'll basically use that Super Souls right away while saving the Super Souls for later if you get some major matches. Now, this is called Saduya. Or Saduya! That was kind of cringe. But that's finally what I show you guys right here. And the next character that's going to do after that is Awoken Hit. Now, like I said, Awoken Hit is one of the most used characters ever used in Xenoverse 2, okay? Like, yeah, I know personally a lot of things about what's going on over here. Let's try my custom Awoken Hit, which is actually the black one, because usually I don't customize those characters' colors, because it might be like a waste of time. And basically, like, sometimes when you actually use these characters, it just makes a lot of sense about characters. So like I said, there's something special about Goku. He is one of the most characters I use in 1v1 matches, because like I stated before in about the video when he was trolling video. None of these characters can be my main, because I'm the only player that doesn't matter what main character that is my main about it. So yeah, he's one of the golden in these games. So what you need to do now, let's move on to the grab. Just like Broly, this grab is what I hate the most. What I hate the most. Yeah, the grab side kind of cool when you're spinning your characters like around, like a helicopter. But when you actually do that, the Super Soul can allow you to basically take a massive amount of damage when you do the grab. Now, obviously, this is why I see this majorly common, because there are some times when people can use their male margins to use that to make a sign about what I'm basically trying to say here. Now, obviously, like I said, this grab is basically nothing special, but it's a pet peeve of players that can have, here that have this, is known as exploiting, and basically just exploiting the game. Now, obviously, moving on to Woken Head. Now, there's not a don't in this characters because there's only one no as a do. Now, this is how Woken Head players play like this. Yeah, this character is one of the best characters in the game, in my opinion, because he has like basically the skills over here. There's no don'ts about what he has to do because it doesn't matter what playstyle I use on a Woken Head, whether it's the common multiple sparrow infinite combo. Hold on, that's not it. How about? There we go. That's the character that that people actually use. I know it's kind of a cheap. That's how players use it. But there's a don't of his super skill. So if you play a Woken Hit like this, don't play like that. Because that is basically know that this time skip jump spike was one of the actually worst super souls to use in 1v1 matches. And it's just simply just some way to troll your opponent. Now, if I do this right here, time skip finger over here or something like that. This is basically what I basically drive people to do the most. So, if you want to do the answer to a combo, you're supposed to end it to a combo like this. That's how you use it. There we go. Do this to a combo, and bam! That's how you use time skip jump spike. So I'm gonna show you this again. Do this and that. That's how you basically use a Woken hits his super attack like that. And finally, let's move on to the final part of the thing. And finally, we have the final part. Now, I could say, this is the prime example where you fight against Gamma 2.
You still haven't figured out you're going to lose.
And let's try with my original character right here, Red Mathis, or my real name, Tomas Mathis, because usually in the Switch version of the game, I have my character that say Red Mathis, but even though I don't know as Red, but he's basically named after me. So anyways, let's go on and forward. Now, Gamma 2's combo is not kind of it's bad on the panel because there are some reused assets of using his character, of different characters, but he has a lot of his cool ass combos. Like this right here. That's amazing. Or this combo he does a kick. Yeah, typical kind of stuff. Now there is a don't over here. So yeah. So guys, this is probably a don't that you don't want to do. If you want to fight against the Gamma 2, do not break his stamina. Even if you do like this, he has a super soul known as you gotta be careful. Now this is a super soul that basically have major flaws, and there are some times that it gets completely bugged. Now, if I have nothing else to say about this, because it's kind of cool. You get your stamina back, which is similar to Deku Dragon Balls. This is the one thing that I hate against my players hate the most. Even if you use like dodge actually attacks over here. If you use this attack, his stamina is recovered. Now, if you want to fight against Gamma 2, you gotta wait for the opportunity. Wait, is to not break his stamina at all and just steadily attacking him until he's down. That's how you do it. Now, anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. This is my tips of do's and don'ts right here. So apparently I'll make another video about why the Hero Coliseum is a forgotten mode and why I used to play that a lot just to have fun of it. It was kind of fun in my opinion. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys like this video, be sure to keep that to subscribe, to like button, and don't forget the energy wave that or Kamehameha wave that subscribe button. And don't and make sure to click the notification bell so you can be notified of what what videos do I post. And don't forget to follow me on my good old Twitter. And as always, this is Samans Mathis signing off. See you guys later. See you guys in the next one. Farewell, my fellow time patrollers, and be safe.